Okay, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Carrie Warnick, Program Coordinator for Multi-Region Purchasing Co-op, and today's meeting is all about spending your entitlement, but a focus on processing commodities. Now, anytime you have a question, like I said, drop it into the chat panel and we'll do our best to answer everything. Let me get my screen shared so we can begin. All right. Think I've already introduced myself, so we're good on that front. So we'll get past that slide. So today I am going to be talking about spending your entitlement. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but we're going to just kind of review the ways you can spend your entitlement. What is processing? Some of you are new to processing with MRPC. What requirements are we putting into place this year with some of the processors that I don't know why. Pardon that, my phone keeps going into this weird siren mode. So requirements that MRPC is placing on some of the processors that do multiple commodity materials. Got a food for thought section. We're going to briefly look at pricing differences, what came in from USDA on commodity materials, and then also our commodity processors. And then I will do a complete walkthrough with demonstration for Processor Link pre-order, which is a specialized software for co-ops only that allows our members to select products and have a calculation on how many pounds of commodity materials they need to get all the finished end products throughout the school year. All right, spending your entitlement. It really is your decision how you want to spend your entitlement. That is all up to you. It depends on your setup in your campus kitchens, how staff is trained. Some of you really enjoy doing the direct delivery foods, aka brown box. Many of you process only. A lot of you do a mix. So there are three different ways to spend your entitlement. So the first one is the DoD Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program. Now that is stands for Department of Defense. That's a partnership between Department of Defense and USDA for fresh produce. All the produce you get through that program is compliant with Buy American provisions. So you will not be buying things like bananas through that program. So you're kind of guaranteed that you don't have to worry about tracking a non-domestic produce product. In December or November, TDA sent out the question if you wanted to participate and you just needed to respond yes or no. It is a kind of a one and done allocation right at the first of the calendar year in January when they give you your entitlement. It's based on a fair share basis, depending on how many districts say yes, they want to participate, how much funding TDA is allocating to that program, and then you typically get a percentage of your total entitlement. It normally hovers around 20%, give or take a few percentage marks there. So many of you are seeing way less entitlement in your accounts right now, which means you receive less DoD funding. Now, our understanding this week from TDA is that USDA will be increasing the entitlement, well, really the rate of assistance, which will increase your entitlement. And they think it's going to happen before the end of January, but definitely before the end of the ordering period, which February 27th is the closing date of Web SCM. So they are promising it's coming. They have told me that it should be pretty close to what you received in this current school year. So, hang tight. You're going to have more funding coming into your account. Now, keep in mind that you could see an increase in July when USDA publishes the rate of assistance. It typically is a little more than what's been estimated in February and January. And in September, once TDA reconciles all the accounts and has total lunches served for this current school year, they will apply that number to the calculation. And if you had more lunches served during 25-26 compared to 24-25, that's what your entitlement is based on right now, you could see a little bit of an increase. If your participation went down, there could be a decrease. So that's when you see that entitlement take a little bit of a roller coaster ride. All right. The other way to spend your entitlement is direct delivery foods, also known as brown box. These are a variety of foods through WebSCM and delivered into the TDA contracted warehouses, and it's minimally processed USDA foods. So all your raw meats, all kinds of staple items such as rice, flour, pasta, frozen and refrigerated fruits and vegetables, just a ton of variety. So for those that do a little more scratch cooking or want to get a lot of your good dry storage items that you're, serving for your national school lunch program or school breakfast program, that's a really great way to go. Those foods do come through the TDA contracted warehouse. So that's typically a once a month delivery. For most schools, larger schools do get a once a week delivery, and that's coming out of like Gold Star, Central Texas Food Bank, and maybe some others. So just be aware of that. Then, of course, there are processed commodities or processed USDA foods, and we are going to look at what does that mean. Technically, you are taking your entitlement and you are purchasing USDA raw commodity materials, and it's in the form of pounds. So when you hear the term banking pounds, that's what it's referring to. Your entitlement pays for that commodity material, and those pounds get banked with the chosen processor because you are going to select products. Now, the processors are, you're specifically selecting a processor and you're going to select a product that fits your menu, what you plan to serve in the upcoming school year. And we use a program called Pre-Order. It is what I call the backside of Processor Link, which if you've done processing in the past or currently, that is a commodity pound tracking service for some of the processors. The other one is K-12 Food Service. Pre-order is for co-ops. It's like a big commodity calculator. It has every awarded and renewed product for school year 26-27 that we received from the commodity processors. So you have the ability to step in and select a product. You'll be entering some information and details about how often you're serving that or how many cases you need. And the system calculates how many pounds of that raw commodity material is needed to the processor to create the end product and get the number of cases to you throughout the school year. So that is what's called processing. Now, as you purchase the products throughout the school year, your pounds in that account with that processor get drawn down to cover the cost of the raw material. So what you're paying is a fee for service to the processor. That's the cost for them to process the raw commodity material, take the whole birds and turn them into fully cooked end product chicken nuggets. When they draw down your pounds and apply that to the cost or the case cost, that's known as a commodity discount. So what you're paying for is called the fee for service. Now, there are different ways to receive your processed commodities. These are called value pass-through methods. You can also consider them a delivery method. One way is through the TDA contracted warehouses. So some of you that participate in processing and also direct delivery foods, you could be getting a mix of products delivered once a month from your contracted warehouse. If you go through the contracted warehouse, we're going to look at a different slide here. I'm not going to go into that yet, but there's different ways you'll be invoiced. Another way to receive your processed commodities is directly to your district from the manufacturer, the processor. Now, these are typically districts that either have a private warehouse or a large storage area with a loading dock. You must have the ability to accept bulk deliveries of products, typically a pallet or more of product. So, 100 plus cases at a time. and have the ability to unload a truck, either a forklift or a pallet jack, something that you can pull a pallet off of a huge truck. So that is a direct shipment to a district. Then there's full line grocery distributor. Think Labatt and Cisco. You can have your processed commodities go through our distributor. That's when you order weekly based on your menu needs. So what does all of this look like? Got a lovely graph for you, nice little flow chart. So you've received your entitlement. You're going to determine which products you want to process and how you want to receive them in pre-order. You're going to enter that into pre-order. Pre-order gives you some really great reports, and when we walk through it, you'll see those reports and how they work. But it gives you a report where you will easily enter pounds or cases of product into Web SEM. Now, keep in mind, as co-ops, we do not know anything about Web SEM, so we can't help you with that program. That is a child nutrition specialist is your contact person for that program. If it's about pre-order, our bid award, or anything along processing, we are absolutely the go-to to help you on that. Now, the USDA foods processors, they receive a report from TDA when everything is finalized and trucks are going to be ordered of how many pounds of that commodity material they are processing that each district has banked. So they have this little account for you with your banked pounds. And if you have chosen to go through the TDA contracted warehouse, receiving once a month delivery, once that number of cases lands in the warehouse, the processor will invoice you for those cases, and you'll be invoiced for the fee for service cost. And then the processor is going to draw down your pounds to cover the commodity material in those cases. Then the contracted warehouse will invoice you for the delivery fees. Now, for past several years, TDA has had the ability to reimburse those delivery fees. So this TDA contracted warehouse delivery method becomes a pretty good affordable situation. It's not a guarantee the reimbursements will come. It depends on whether they've got the funding to do that, but it's a nice benefit if it happens.
Harry, you're muted.
That's weird. When did that happen?
Just a few seconds, right before I told you.
I swear, I feel like the Zoom meeting is not in my control, so I do apologize. Okay, where did I drop off?
You were talking about the delivery fees being reimbursed is not a guarantee.
Okay, great. Yes. All right. The other method, skipping over here to direct delivery from a processor, is when you receive your products from the processor, and you'll be setting up a monthly, purchasing plan in pre-order. The processor will invoice you for the number of cases you receive, and that will be the amount that is that fee for service cost. And then they will draw down your pounds from your banked pounds with that processor. Then, of course, going through a full line grocery distributor, and it doesn't matter if you're going through the co-op and utilizing our awarded distributor. Some of you do your own commercial grocery bids, and you'll take the commodity pricing we have captured in our bid and share that with your distributor. Distributors will add some kind of a delivery fee or a markup, however they get to their end price when they sell the product to you. Now, when you receive that product on a weekly basis as you order it, on your invoice, you will see a commercial price, and then you will see that commodity discount, which is that donated food value, the commodity material value, and then the pounds will be drawn down from your account. There are two different types of commodities. There is what's called net off invoice. These are also called substitutable commodities. Think chicken and cheese and turkey. Those processed products can be sold at a commercial price or at a commodity discounted price. So if you have pounds banked, you get that commodity discount. If you run out of pounds for some reason and maybe didn't get any more transferred in, you can continue buying the same product. You just don't get the commodity discount. Beef and pork, and also Wawona fruit, are fee for service only through a distributor. That means only schools with pounds can purchase the commodity process version of those products. Typically, they arrive at a distributor already discounted, meaning they don't include the value of that commodity material, the donated food value. So we'll talk a little more about that when we get to pre-order, but just know there are a couple different types of commodities that, how the distributor receives them. Elizabeth, any questions about what I just presented on with processing or spending your
You,
entitlement?
no questions. Doing a great job.
Oh, okay. Moving on. Oh, I lost mine. All right. This year, MRPC made a decision based on just ease of presenting the details and accuracy and pricing with a couple of companies that process 2 or 3 different types of commodity materials. So Swans is one of them, and Swans in some of their pizzas, not all of them, but some of their pizzas, they process cheese, tomato paste, and flour. They submit their pricing based on the combination of all 3 of those, or 2 of them, the donated food value and the drawdown. So that is all given in their bid pricing. In past, we've allowed schools to decide they only want to process cheese, but that becomes very difficult to show what is your discount, what's the bid price, because that's not how we received it legally and formally. So same with Wawona, they process blueberries and strawberries in a single product. So when you plan to purchase that product, you get a drawdown on both of those commodity materials. And Swans is a little all over the boards. Some of their pizzas process cheese and flour, some cheese and tomato paste, some only cheese. So it's very difficult to try to show all these different variations. So if you are a district that plans to process Swan's pizza products or Wawona products that contain the multiple commodity materials, you will need to accept the fact you're going to have pounds banked for all of these. Now, an interesting thing came up yesterday with one of our members. It's a school district that does bank pounds with Swans. They had cheese, tomato paste, and flour for the products they'd selected. They switched to a different product that didn't include flour. And so now their cheese and tomato paste is getting drawn down, but not the flour pounds. So now they've got flour pounds sitting there. So you can see it becomes a little tricky. So just be mindful if you're processing with one of these processors that you're trying to stay true to ordering the products that you originally banked pounds with. We can help you work through some little odd situations like that, but the district happened to notice that all of a sudden her flour pounds were not drawing down. Couldn't make sense of it. So when we dug in, that's what we discovered. She'd switched products to a product that didn't pull all 3. So just a little weird, situation there. Now, food for thought. As you step into planning what you're going to process, think about what you've done currently this year. Are you changing your menu? Did you struggle with any of the processors or the products? Oh, no. Go back. Well, I don't know what happened to my slide deck. Oh my goodness. I'm having a hard time today. Review your current year. What was going on? Were things successful? Were things not successful with the kids? Do you need to switch products? Was there a processor that you're noticing for the past several years you've processed with that maybe you've kind of struggled getting their products? So really do some due diligence and think about what you're really planning to serve next year, what fits the menu, what the kids like. We never recommend processing a product that has not been tested. Whether you and your team have sampled it or you've done a student testing, just don't go down that road, because if it's not successful, you've got all these pounds. So that becomes problematic later if you've got excess pounds you're not going to use, which leads me into transfers. Did you transfer any pounds out of your account, whether it was sharing it with other districts, in December and this month in January, or maybe you transferred to the TDA, state account? We have been told by TDA that school districts that maybe transferred out a lot of commodity pounds and who are at risk of being denied that commodity material and new pounds in the upcoming school year will be or have already been informed. So we were told that the school districts that might be in a little bit of trouble with that know who they are. So hopefully none of you are those school districts, but if you are and you want to talk about what's a left turn you can take and to spend your entitlement on some other commodities that won't be denied, just make a phone consultation or a Zoom consultation with us. That sign up sheet is out there in the members Google Drive folder in the school year 26-27 folder. So sign up. That's a one-on-one, 1 hour consultation with any of us. And Elizabeth and I are probably the best to talk about that situation. Angela and Diane absolutely can help you with other areas. So, utilize us to help you if you're in that situation. We did see some school districts this year get pounds denied because they had transferred so many out the previous year. So hopefully that's not you. Variety. Consider processors with lots of variety of choices. So if there is a product availability issue or something happens, you can't get the product, you can easily switch over to another product. Most of our processors offer a good variety of products. There are very few that have just a small number of SKUs, but consider that. And also as you're processing, if you're doing things like beef crumbles, think about items that can be used in multiple ways. So don't go for the taco season crumble. Go for an unseasoned crumble that can be used in spaghetti sauce or tacos or anything else you might be making, sloppy joes with beef crumbles. The goal is to not get so spread out with the number of processors you're processing with that it becomes difficult to manage the usage of your pounds. So just, best approach recommendation there. All right. I do not know what's going on my slide. I'm having a Friday, right? This is terrible. Okay, let's take a look at some pricing differences. It's actually not bad this year. I was happy to see when I looked at not only USDA's average pricing file and then also what came from our awarded processors that we have renewed with. So let me get the spreadsheet open here. Hopefully this will go well. All right. This spreadsheet is also in our 26-27 folder for members. So you need to go and download this because it gives you a kitchen sink report on every item that you will find in the pre-order module. Now, it is, let me get to the top here. It is currently listed in alphabetical order by the processor name. You've got the product number. And this column right here is the question, is the product a commercial product? So when I talked about that net off invoice and substitutable commodities, those are commercial products. And if you see a yes in this column, that means if you run out of pounds or maybe you don't get as far with your entitlement and there's still some products you want to purchase, if it's a net off invoice or it says yes, it's a commercial product, that means you can purchase that without any banked pounds. Now, if you happen to see the answer no, like Brookwood Farms, who processes pork, and beef and pork are true fee for service. So the reason for that is that beef and pork must be inspected by a USDA inspector before they can be sold as processed commodity products. So that means that these processors must wait for the USDA truckload of product to roll in before they make their end products to be sold as processed commodities. And you must have bank pounds to purchase the processed commodity version. Now you will also see there is a commercial product number sitting there. That is their commercial version that doesn't require banked pounds, but it's a different product code and it's a different product. Typically, the commercial versions are packed a little differently, maybe more, maybe less. Um, but if you think that you can't get your entitlement to cover all, say, the Brookwood Farms products you want, or if there's integrated beef or JTM beef or whatever beef you're using, and you think, hey, let's go ahead and get a commercial version of that product, please make that as a new item request in Maestro if it is not already in the forecasting sheet, just to kind of cover all bases. Because I know your entitlement's lower, and when we look at some of the pricing from USDA, beef has gone up. Some things have gone up, some things have gone down. So I don't really know how it'll work out for everyone, but you could be okay, but you might run short. In this spreadsheet, all of this information is also in the pre-order module, but you have it here neatly based on a single row for one item. You've got all this information, calories, sodium, meal pattern components, and what is the contribution. You've got pallet information if you're a direct delivery school, what's required, and then you've got the received bid pricing for next year. Now, TDA contracted warehouse, direct to district, and distributor fee for service or modified fee for service, the price will look the same because that case price does not include the donated food value, the value of that commodity material in the case. If you look at distributor NOI column, you will see the pricing is a little bit higher. That's because the price listed in NOI is the fee for service plus the donated food value. So just know that's a combination. Now, when you order that product through a mainline distributor, you might see that commercial price listed, but then you'll see your donated food value as a commodity discount. So let's say if I was looking at this product, this turkey breast product. Well, that's not a good sample because turkey, I don't know why. Oh yeah, here we go. It is a good example. Turkey through the distributor, they're going to receive it and pay $126.40. They're going to add a markup or delivery fee. When they deliver, and on your invoice, you will see the distributor in price, a commodity discount of $43.20 to create something close to that fee for service. Keep in mind, distributor has a little bit of a markup, so the fee for service, which is your out-of-pocket expense, won't be the $83.20, but it'll be something close. So that's kind of how you read the different pricing. Then you've got all the commodity material information over here. If you are going to process poultry, you are processing the whole bird, which is white and dark meat. So you have to plan for that to fit into your menu. If you are a school district that you have been giving away an excess of dark pounds or an excess of white pounds to the state account or to other districts, TDA is watching. They do not consider that being a good steward of your banked pounds. They expect you to utilize both white and dark. So I say this so it keeps you out of risk of denied pounds. We saw that happen this year. A school district gave away a bulk amount of, I think it was dark pounds, and in the upcoming school year, they got denied chicken pounds altogether. So if you don't think you can manage the white and dark, maybe stay away from processing chicken. It's not one of your overly expensive commodities, and even though it's gone up in the past couple of years, right now it's sitting at about $1.75 a pound. But if you want to process chicken, you've got to, commit to the white and dark. Now, in this spreadsheet, you've also got a pricing comparison of current school year cost, case costs, which is the fee for service, your out-of-pocket cost, compared to what's coming in school year 27. And I even give you a nice little breakdown of what's the case price difference. Most went up a little bit, some came down a little bit, as you can see, some less expensive. Pay attention, maybe they had a pack size change. Some went up pretty pretty much. I mean, I don't know, some are quite up there and I need to really research and dig in. But you can see a lot are in the negative, meaning you're paying less going into next year than what you're currently paying, which is nice to see. So, pay attention to your pricing. This is what hits your out-of-pocket expenses, this tab right here. So this is your fee for service, your out-of-pocket cost. USDA average price file, this is the per pound cost of commodity materials. Our biggest hike, well, not the biggest, but one of the biggest was our ground beef. So beef is going to hit your entitlement a little harder this year. If you process turkey thighs, we don't have very many that do, but it's really going to hit you $1.43 pricing difference. It's now at $3.22, $3.23 a pound. So that one really went up. I have in bold the ones that were close to 20 cents or more per pound that you might see hitting your entitlement a little more than this current school year. So download this. It gives you all this great information. All right, Elizabeth, any questions coming in about all of that?
No questions. Doing a great job
Okay.
again.
All right, we are moving on. We're going to do a complete walkthrough, a processor link pre-order. Now, I need a volunteer, someone who will let me use their account. I won't be changing anything drastically. You'll still get your account just like it looks when you first log in with nothing there. But if I can please use someone as a demonstration account, that would be awesome. Just type your yes into the chat. Elizabeth will tell me which district.
Godly
Hopefully.
ISD.
Who?
Godly.
Oh, Godly. Okay, great.
Yes.
All right. So what you're seeing on the screen is my login page, but when you log into Processor Link, yours will look similar, but just won't have as many processors. Now, keep in mind, Processor Link is a tracking software first. So what you'll see are the processors, if you process this year, that you have banked pounds with and where you are. We're going past this and we are going to a pre-order module. Now, for you, you will hover over the word manage and then you will select pre-order. Mine looks a little different, but this is how you'll get to pre-order. Hover over manage, select pre-order. It will automatically default to 2627. It will not default to a survey, but it will default to your school name. So you're going to see 2627 and your school name. And you have two choices here. You may select a survey. There's only one. It's our first round survey. Or you can click next. It will take you to this screen where you will see our survey and it tells you the open date and when it closes, February 24th. And you'll select on action, you will select new. Now that button might say edit. So I've seen it show two different tags. I don't know why that's changed. Can explain that one, but if it says new or edit, just know, click on it to get to the pre-order module and the place where you're going to enter your pounds and where your products. Okay, for those of you that process with us this current school year, it could pop up first that you will see the list of products you processed for this school year. There is the option to import these products into your pre-order for next year, but be aware of a couple of things. First, you're going to see a green check mark or a red X. If it has a green check mark, that means it was a renewed product for next year. If it has a red X, for whatever reason, this was not offered in our renewal bid by that processor. So in this particular example, Cargill Kitchens, this product number is not being offered in the renewal. So if it's something you were ordering and you really have an interest in, I can certainly ask the processor. Maybe they switched to product code. That's where it helps you to look at that spreadsheet to kind of get a feel for what's being offered by your processors of choice. You've got the choice to select all of these products or some of them. Now I'm scrolling to the bottom to show you your current year entitlement, well, your upcoming year entitlement has been loaded for you into pre-order. Now, as we start to select products, it's going to start adding up, and I'm just checking these little boxes on the left-hand side, but you'll notice down here that usage amount is increasing and your projected remaining imbalance is decreasing. Now, I can choose all of these products, but most likely your current entitlement for next school year is not going to cover what you did last February because you had probably, I've heard twice as much as what you guys are seeing right now in WebSEM. So just to be aware of that, you can select all the products at once up here in this blue left corner. If you click that box, it will select all the available products. Now, luckily, we have a projected balance of $2,000, so we should be able to import all these products. I'm not going to do that because that would be a lot of getting rid of things that I don't know what Godly wants, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a few products just so we can look at what does that look like and what can you edit if you import all your products. So let's just go ahead and I'm going to select a poultry product. Let's see, do we have any? Oh, good, swans. Let's see what happens with, oh wait, no, that's just chicken. Okay. Let's go ahead and just do a beef product. I'm going to select two products because I want to show you what happens with poultry. I want to look at, say, Wawona or swans and a few other things. If you're importing, all you have to do is click on the import products blue button at the bottom, and it's going to automatically pull those into your main pre-order screen, as you can see right now. You may not get that import screen if you didn't process with us or process last year or process with us because you were somewhere else or whatever is the situation. But there is a button to import products from prior year if you have that option. So if that doesn't pop up for you, just know you can get to that place from this screen. Also, some of you, when you log in, may have a window that looks like this. This is a tip window, gives you tips on what the icons mean and how to begin. I'm going to walk you through that, but you can make this gray area appear and disappear all day long between clicking show hint or closing the hint. Now, you'll notice over here, you've got your school district name, you've got your entitlement balance that was loaded for you based on what's in WebSEM right now. We know that's going to increase. And you've got what's been spent on this pre-order so far. So as you enter products or as you import products, this will increase how much you're spending on selected products with your entitlement, and this will begin to decrease. But you'll notice your entitlement is a link. It's blue, it becomes underlined when I hover over it. You can click on that, and this is where you'll come if you're going to increase your entitlement once you get the increased amount from USDA. So when that happens, you should be checking in with WebSEM to watch for that increase. I'm hoping TDA will send out a notification. You'll click on your entitlement balance and you'll come over here, and there are different fields, but you'll notice there's a minus or a plus to the right of the field. You will make an admin adjustment, whatever that new amount is that was infused into your entitlement, or you can just simply update your total entitlement. That's your beginning amount. Now, if you said yes to DoD Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program for next year, that amount will automatically be showing up in pre-order. So the company that owns pre-order automatically uploaded beginning entitlement, that's the total entitlement, plus what was allocated for DoD. Godly is not participating in DoD, so there's nothing there, but just know if you see something there, that's how much you got. And you can always ask for more. I don't know how they're managing that. Once they increase entitlement, I don't know if they're going to adjust DoD based on the new increased amount. I just don't know. I haven't heard. Maybe one of the child nutritionists has heard how that might work, but not really sure at this time. Okay, let's talk about this screen. So when you first log in, if you haven't imported anything, you're only going to have the product tab. Once you import one product or you add one product, which we're going to do in a minute, you'll get these two tabs, monthly case request and a diversion report. I'll go into detail in a minute. On your main screen products tab, you'll see I imported these products. Now, even if I imported all those products, but I need to tweak some of them, we're still going to serve this sliced turkey breast, but maybe we don't want as many servings. Maybe we're backing off of that on the menu. We don't need so many cases. We can edit using over here in the edit column, the pencil icon. I can edit the bill type, which is our delivery method. Okay, that's the bill type is how you're going to receive the processed commodity. That is either directly to your district, if that's an option. It is through the distributor, which all of our commodity processors deliver through the full line grocery distributor or contracted warehouse. Be aware, some processors do not deliver into the contracted warehouse. That is just not an option. Some do not do a direct delivery to a district. That is also just not an option. So you could see 3 options. You might see 1 or you might see 2 here. If you're editing imported products, you've got the ability to change your delivery method called bill type in pre-order. You have the ability to update any of this information. So maybe you don't need 9 cases this year. Maybe you only need 7. And you'll notice the minute I changed that from 9 to 7, it automatically adjusted the number of servings. And I can save that. We're going to look at this in a minute. You get your component, your commodity material down here, the material code, how many pounds are in a case of that donated food. So 1 case of this particular turkey breast has 18.2 pounds of raw commodity material. How many total pounds for those 7 cases you're going to bank with Hormel, and how much is it going to cost you in your entitlement? PAL is the same thing as entitlement. You would save this and it would update in the next screen. I'm not going to mess with Godly's numbers here, but it would create an update over here. Now, as you look at the spreadsheet, you're getting all the information that's in that pre-order screen. Estimated PAL is what it's going to cost you in entitlement. Fee is what your out-of-pocket expense is. Now, keep in mind, if you're going through a distributor, that will be a little more because of delivery fees or markup. So that's kind of a starting point for out-of-pocket expenses. If it's contracted warehouse or direct delivery, that is on point. That's what you'll be invoiced if you were to pull in all 9 cases directly or through a contracted warehouse. That's what the processor would invoice you for. Now, you'll notice because we've got a poultry product, and this was white meat only, you've got this new entry of unutilized dark meat because you're required to bank pounds for the whole bird. Each poultry processor has a different yield that they calculate their products off of. So it could be a 60-40 split, it could be a 50-50 split, or a 57-43. It's kind of all over the board between the different poultry processors. This gets banked for you automatically, and your entitlement gets charged automatically for those dark pounds, but you've got to select some products that utilize those dark pounds. Pre-order makes it very easy. You've got a resolve button. All you have to do is click the resolve button, and you don't even have to think too hard here. They give you the complete list of products and how many cases are needed of that one product to utilize the unutilized dark pounds. How's that for a statement? So I don't even have to remember how many cases, because what happens is once I select a product, it will take me to the pre-order screen. So let's say we just want to do this little turkey breakfast sausage. I'm going to need 16 cases, but I don't have to remember that because guess what? Down here in cases on the pre-order screen, it's reminding me, hey, 16 is recommended to use those dark meat pounds. I still have to select a bill type. Now, I would have the ability if I wanted to change the product, but you've already looked at the list of dark meat only products. And how do I know it's dark meat only? If I scroll down, now that I've got this product showing, it's showing me it's only utilizing dark meat. If I enter the 16 recommended cases, I've got to select a bill type. I'm going to just stick with distributor because if you have one product with a processor going through distributor, you want the other products you select to also go through distributor. Trying to split the bank between contracted warehouse and distributor or direct and distributor with a single processor gets a little tricky. Some are not willing to do that. Some are willing to do that, but it can get a little confusing and it's just more clear to stay with one bill type or delivery method with a single processor. It doesn't mean that you can't say, hey, I want all my Hormel products through a distributor, but I'm going to go ahead and get my Land O'Lakes cheese through the contracted warehouse or directly to my district. You can absolutely do that, but try to stay true to one bill type within a single processor. Now, I entered my 16. I've got total servings calculated, and now I just simply click on save. And now that new sausage is going to show up on the screen. Now, look what happened to my unutilized dark pounds. I'm now down to 9.66, and look, the resolve button can't even be clicked. We're done. 9.66 pounds will not get me another case of anything in dark meat only. Now, I do recommend if you're processing poultry to get all your poultry products listed in first before you go trying to resolve unutilized meat pounds. Because if I start adding some blended products, or maybe I add another dark meat product, I could get unutilized white. It can bounce back and forth. So get all your poultry products selected, then resolve that unutilized amount. Below the spreadsheet area, it starts to aggregate your total pounds between all products selected, whether it's white or dark or just total pounds. It'll show you if you've got any remaining unutilized pounds and total donated food value. Oh, can't highlight that. So it starts to aggregate what you've got going on in the spreadsheet by processor. Now, let's look at adding a product with Swans. I recommend leaving donated food, and all I did was click on the green add product button. That's pretty straightforward on the right hand kind of corner over there. Leave this as all commodities. Makes it easy. It keeps all the processors present and all their products. Your next step is to select a processor. I'm going to go ahead and select Swan so we can look at what does that look like in the way of all those different processed products. Now, many of you received a notification that Swans has legally and formally changed their company name. That's all fine. We've got the same products bid, the same product codes. It didn't change anything about their product lineup. Looks like they've created a food service division that may be required a legal name change, which is fine. We've got the documentation and they've provided us with an updated W-9. One processor you're not going to see in this list, and when you click the down arrow, they're in alphabetical order by name, is ES Foods. They did not renew for commodity processing. I have not heard that their meal kits will not be available as commercial purchased, but they are not processing. So if you're a school that processes with ES Foods currently or in the past, you won't see them here. They did not renew for that. Just heads up. Once you select a processor, you get the full list of their offered products for next year. It is in numerical order by product code, and then you get the name of the product out to the right-hand side. Now, I am going to select a specific product, 783368. The minute you select a product, you get this nice little right-hand side of the screen that gives you a nutritional fact panel. It gives you product details. Everything you see on this side of the screen is in that spreadsheet that I showed you a little while ago. You can screen print this and print it or save it. You can use snipping tool if you use that to grab an image. This is not downloadable. It's not like a true nutritional fact sheet that you would download. I've had those questions, but all of these facts and details are in that spreadsheet. So it's a nice thing to see and look at while you're in this kind of pre-order screen. Now, Next step is select that delivery method. Now, Swans delivers into the contracted warehouse. They offer direct delivery, and they obviously go through a full-line grocery distributor such as Labatt or Cisco. Now, you will see fee for service direct to district. That's if you can unload a truck of pallets or a pallet of food. That $38.17 is the fee for service cost for this particular product. That's our bid price. Contracted warehouse, it's going to show up as fee for service to contracted warehouse. Again, you're going to see that fee for service bid price. If you want to go through Labatt or Cisco or whatever awarded distributor we get for next year or you have for next year, you are going to look for the word distributor. It might say net off invoice, manufacturer price to distributor. It might say fee for service, manufacturer price to distributor. So you could see two different variations depending if it's beef and pork or Wawona. It's going to say fee for service. If it's all the substitutable commodities, net off invoice. Now, if you want to go through the distributor, you're going to look for that keyword distributor. Next, you've got several ways you can approach how to determine how many cases or total servings. If you know we've been serving this product, kids love it, we've gone through 10 cases every year, you can just drop in 10 cases. It will automatically calculate total servings, and the minute you do that, it begins to calculate the donated food pounds in total and how much it will cost your entitlement. Notice we've got 3 commodity materials. All are getting banked. This is our cheese, our tomato paste, and our flour. If you're not sure how many cases, but you know how many servings in total you did, well, maybe you drop in, I don't know how many servings, but you drop in the total number of servings. That will calculate the number of cases needed and calculate all this down here. If you are not sure of any of this, but you know that servings per occasion, meaning when you offer this pizza product one time at your campuses, 200 kids are going to take that pizza. And you've got this on your cycle menu throughout the school year once a month. And you're working on a 10-month schedule. Maybe you're using some of your commodities for summer feeding. Drop in how many times it appears within your cycle menu for the full year. It's going to automatically calculate those total servings and how many cases and calculate appropriately down here. Your next step is to click Save. Takes you back to the main screen, and there is our Swans product. Now, you'll notice your entitlement balance is dropping and your used on this pre-order is increasing. You can delete any product if you discover that, I didn't mean to add that breakfast sausage. I think I want to pick another product. All you have to do is click the red X over here. It's going to ask you to confirm, and you'll simply say yes. I do encourage you to not leave a bunch of unutilized pounds on the table because you may forget about it as the school year starts, and now you've got these excess pounds that you don't have a plan usage, which in the end could put you at risk for getting denied pounds in the future. So try hard to really find a place on your menu for those pounds. And as I said before, if you've struggled with the poultry because you just don't use white or you just don't use dark, maybe stay away from poultry altogether, or try to focus on products that are already blended white and dark meat, where they're using both white and dark pounds so that you're not getting caught with a bunch of kind of unutilized business there. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a Wawona product because I want to show you when we get to the monthly case request and the diversion report, you're going to see something a little different. So I'm selecting Wawona and let's see, a peach cup. I'm just going to select this through contracted warehouse for fun. And let's just say we need, 100 cases. All right, I'm going to save that. And this is only processing peaches. Now I've got my Wawona product. You'll also notice that it's showing you which items were imported, meaning you processed those this year, and which weren't. If they don't have a check mark, that means you added that manually this year. Your bill type, this is what you want to check and watch for consistency. So if you've got several Hormel products or Swans products, NOI is going to be that through distributor. CW is going to be that contracted warehouse. If you see 2Ds, direct to district, that's obviously you're getting a bulk delivery, got to unload a big truck. If you see fee for service with a single D, that means it's beef or pork or Wawona fruit going through a distributor. So that's what those bill types will mean from this view. Once you get your products added, this is what I want to process. You're going to step into the monthly case request tab. Now you're going to notice that there's already some of these monthly fields filled in. Those were our imported items, and it's keeping what you planned this current year as a plan for next year. You can change this. You can just highlight those and delete those out of there. Maybe you've got a different plan. You're going to pull in 3 in February. You're going to lay out how you plan to order these products. Now, if you're going through distributor, you're ordering weekly, but maybe you're only ordering one case per week or one case every other week during the month, however it works for you and your needs. The goal is for every single item listed, which is all the items you selected on your products tab, shows you the number of cases, and then there's a balance. The goal is to get your balance column to 0. So you want to lay out how you plan to order this, and you can do it in multiple ways. Maybe you're going through a contracted warehouse or whatever, but I wanted to show you, you can go into the negative. So you'll notice I was just punching in 12 cases every other month, but now I'm in a -2. So obviously that's not going to happen. So I need to back off and correct that. The goal is a 0 in this balance column. If you are taking it direct or through the contracted warehouse, maybe you want to take just a big bulk order in November or December, or maybe January. Maybe this is on your half of a year. You've got a special menu. You switch things up halfway through the year, and you're going to pull all of those in. These are peach cups. They're easy to, I think they're shelf stable. Maybe they're frozen. You've got the room to save them and the ability to take in 100 cases. Lay it out the way it works for you and your needs based on your menu and your setup. Now, this is the only tab where you need to click Save before you exit. If you try to go to another tab, you will get a little warning that, hey, you've got some unsaved changes in monthly case request tab. So you can say, okay, you're fine. You don't want to save anything, or you can click on Cancel and now click on Save, and you haven't lost any of your entries. Now that we've got that saved, we're going to step into the diversion report. This is nothing you have to act on. This is what you want to take when you get ready to enter everything into WebSEM. This report lays it out. It gives you the processor, the material number, description of the material that you're banking pounds for. This WebSEM ship to identifier, you will have to indicate in WebSEM, when you select Hormel, where do the raw materials need to be shipped to for Hormel to process the donated food into end products. This is not shipping it to you, the district. This is not shipping it to your contracted warehouse, such as Gold Star or Central Texas Food Bank. This is shipping it to the processor into their warehouse, where they're going to take those whole birds and do what they do to create sliced turkey or turkey ham or turkey sausage. So you have to have that identifier. We do have a document in the shared members Google folder that breaks all that down as well, but it's right here in this report. It also shows you the city and state, which helps you kind of identify the right one. Excuse me, got a dry throat. The ordering unit, this is super important. I'm going to show you another spreadsheet here in a minute. A lot of the processors, ordering unit is by pounds. Excuse me. Some of the processors, the ordering unit is by cases. Fruit processors, I think Del Monte has some other things. Wawona, National Food Group. There are a variety of processors that process direct delivery foods. This means for Wawona, they are getting in and processing a case of 6 number 10 cans of peaches to produce their 4-ounce peach cups. So when you step into WebSEM, if you're banking pounds with Wawona or National Food Group or any other processor, that's how they process commodities. 2 different ways to go about it. You can step into the direct delivery foods requisitions and enter the cases, which is outlined for you by month, how you laid it out in the monthly case request. Or there is a quick search option where you can actually type in the commodity material number. That code is a 6-digit code. You have the ability to, I think, select the processor and how you want to enter that. And I think it's a choice of either direct delivery or requisitions or processing. If you see this word cases, that is a direct delivery section in WebSEM. That's where you want to enter the amounts. Now, do not get tripped up, as some of you are probably looking at this number. You're thinking, wait a minute, when I look at my monthly case request and how many cases I'm planning to purchase of these fruit cups, it's only 100 cases. But over here on diversion report, it's showing 127. That doesn't seem right. Keep in mind, your 100 cases are finished product of 4-ounce fruit cups. 127 to the processor is 127 cases of 6 number 10 cans of peaches. 2 different formats for the product. So don't think this is wrong over here in diversion report. This is what gets sent to Wawona in the way of a number 10 can. Now, as you step into WebSEM, taking this report with you, print it out, have it on a second screen so you can look at it. When you start to enter your pounds in the processing area, the appropriate area of WebSEM, you're going to enter it with what's laid out by each month if each month is presented to you. Now, I know for a fact with some beef, all that's showing up for the months is April, May, and June. Do not let that trick you into thinking you can't get your beef products beginning in August or September at the first of the school year. Those months are showing because it has something to do with how USDA purchases beef, and go ahead and just enter all your pounds in the first month available. When you don't see all the months available, go ahead and consolidate that and drop it into April. It doesn't mean you're not getting your beef until April. You'll get your beef products earlier when you need them. It just has something to do with USDA ordering. So don't get frightened by that. But if all the months are there, go ahead and enter how you plan to, this 80 pounds, or if you're in requisitions for direct delivery foods, enter it how it appears here, if you've got that option, based on what's showing in diversion report. Now, once you are finished with getting everything neat and tidy before you step into WebSEM or after, whatever, you have to confirm that the cases from imported products, remember we imported some products over here, right? That you're confirming that is correct. You're going to check that box. Then you're going to check the box completed when you're done with pre-order. Now you can come back in before the due date of February 24th, which is when pre-order will close, and you can uncheck this. You can uncheck and check that all day before the due date passes. We ask you to check the completed box when you're done in pre-order because we'll be checking this along the way. And as we get closer to the due date, when we pull reports, if we see a district has not completed their pre-order, we're going to reach out to you and make sure that, you don't need some type of assistance to get things done so that you don't miss out on spending your entitlement. And I highly encourage you, spend all your entitlement right now, however that lays out for you. Typically, in the past few years, you've only gotten one processing opportunity, so this is it, most likely. What comes in the future is typically direct delivery foods or some surplus already at the contracted warehouses. So that may not be offering you what you want later on, but you'll get maybe some more entitlement. So you don't want to get stuck with a bunch of entitlement that there's no way for you to spend it based on your needs and what you want. So spend all your entitlement right now. If you can't, you notice I can't click on that completed box. Could be one of two things. Maybe you don't have zeros in all of your balance column over here. Or if you imported, you've got to check this confirm cases box first and then check completed. All right. If you've already done this and you come into this product tab and you'll notice the ability to edit and delete has disappeared. That edit column is gone. That's because these two boxes are checked. Just uncheck them. And now your edit column comes back and you can come in here and edit anything that's needed. If you just need to change a product, you're going to have to delete the existing product and add the new product. Once you're done, export this. What that will do, it will export into an Excel spreadsheet and gives you all three tabs. So you will get product tab, monthly case request tab, which becomes a great ordering guide for you, and diversion report. All right, that is pre-order. I know it seems like a lot for some of you, but please sign up for the phone consultation. Or a Zoom consultation. The sign-up sheet is in the members Google folder. And you get us for a one-on-one, 1 hour, and we can walk you through it. We can help you. We can talk on the phone. You can sign up for more than one session if you're new. That's what we're here to help you and assist you. Any help you need with web SEM, you must contact your ESC and a child nutrition specialist to help you with that. Now, I'm going to show you one more report that is in our members folder because I have not talked about front loading of pounds. Most processors do what's called front loading of pounds. I always think of it as you're getting your sick leave before you've earned it, or your vacation time before you've earned it. Front loading means the minute the processor receives the confirmation report from TDA that pounds have been banked and trucks will be ordered, they get a full list of every district and the total number of pounds that district has banked and spent their entitlement on for the upcoming school year. In July, towards the end of July, some are better than others, they will front load all your pounds. That is before they even get a truckload of USDA commodity into their warehouse. Now, some processors do not front load pounds, and that means you do not get your banked pounds until that processor gets the truckload of commodity material. In this report, you've got the processors we have awarded. You'll notice some are listed in multiple ways because they process multiple types of commodity materials. But there is a column that answers a yes or no, does the processor front load? And you'll see there are a lot of Y's. There are some N's for no. J&J Snacks, they do not front load. I'm working on some of the blanks. I don't know what that's about. Oh, that's JTM and fish. I'll get that out of there. We don't process fish through JTM. That is kind of weird, isn't it? I've never seen that. Michael Foods. We don't process apples. Don't worry about that. Obviously, I need to clean up on this list. I just got it yesterday, so don't laugh at me. Wawona Fruit, a biggie. They do not front load. They have not for several years. And so when you are banking pounds with Wawona, sort of keep in mind that you're probably not going to start getting your products until about October because they haven't gotten the trucks in so early. So kind of plan for maybe the first 2 or 3 months that you're not going to have the ability to use your pounds. So don't bank for the whole 9 or 10 months. Only bank for the 7 or 8, unless you think you can get pounds from the state account to cover those months, or somehow something's offered early. But kind of keep in mind and adjust appropriately so that you haven't banked pounds for 9 or 10 months and you only have the ability to get those products in for 7 or 8 months, because that will leave you with an excess which obviously puts you at risk of not looking like you're utilizing your pounds in the appropriate manner. The goal is 10% per month throughout the school year, and that keeps you on par for using all your pounds. So bank wisely. Okay, that is all I've got, everyone. So, you know, about 15 minutes for questions. If any of you have any questions or would like for me to address something else that maybe I did not address. Elizabeth, do we see anything coming in?
No questions coming in, but I would like to just mention about the contracted warehouse. If they select that option, that it's not guaranteed until after we review the data with the processor, just to make sure that there's enough volume.
Oh, yes. Okay. And I just got something pop up that someone wanted to share something, but I'll get to that in a minute. Um, so Elizabeth and I do watch to see what products are being selected, how many pounds with every single processor. And if we think that as a co-op, as a whole, that maybe we've banked too few pounds where the truckload is not going to make, or we're just not going to be able to get that in, we will reach out to you before the deadline if we feel like it might be wise to make an adjustment to what you've requested and want to bank pounds with. Also, something else is um, I'm getting some strange messages popping up. Something else is sometimes the number or amount of product being selected to go through the contracted warehouse does not meet the minimum requirement from the processor. And once we do send a full report to the processors of those monthly case requests, so they get a full kitchen sink report, shows every district, every product, and the purchasing plan. Sometimes they'll come back and tell us, hey, there's not enough to create a minimum truckload or minimum order going into the contracted warehouse. We need to consolidate 3 months into 1 month delivery to that contracted warehouse. Or sometimes they will say, we need to switch this district over to the distributor because there's just not enough for us to deliver into the contracted warehouse. And we probably see that happen once a year, every year. It's pretty normal. It happens. So just to be aware, start off with how you want to get your food items, and just understand that sometimes things have to be changed a little bit. It's not a lot, but it happens. Okay, I saw that someone wanted to share something.
I don't see
I don't.
anything about sharing, but there is one more question, Carrie.
Okay.
It says you're allowed to continue using other products from the catalog that were not forecasted in order to draw down pounds, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Everything that gets selected to go through the distributor, or even a direct or contracted warehouse, even if you didn't forecast it, if we received bid pricing for it, it's a renewed approved product. And if you need to switch to another product for whatever reason, things happen. Kids stop wanting to eat that product, or you change your menu for some reason, or maybe you're just struggling to get the product. Yes, that's the beauty of commodity processing and the variety you have, is that you can switch over to another product. If it's a commodity processed, it will draw down your pounds. Keep in mind, if you're going to switch to a different product, no matter how you're receiving it, you might need to allow for lead time. You definitely need to have a conversation with your sales rep, especially if you're going through like Labatt or Cisco. Let them know, like, hey, I've been ordering this one Swan's pizza or this one beef patty. We're going to change it up, and we're going to stop ordering that, and we're going to switch to this product. Be planned, communicate, and be in alignment with what that lead time is, because that distributor may have already brought some of that product in for you, and they're going to want to see through your commitment. And that really is what it is. You forecasted here, with our bids and with your pre-order, our distributors and vendors are getting that, but you're going to confirm your purchasing plan with your sales reps before school gets started. That's our recommendation. And that's you committing to having them bring that product in for you. So if you're going to switch, be kind and give an appropriate notice, give them time to get the new product in that, doesn't steal from somebody else who is already purchasing that product. And I did use that word steal because no one wants, a district that decides to start ordering some new product they haven't been ordering all year and then take a bunch of stock that was brought in for another district. It can happen. I know our distributors are pretty good about not trying to have that happen, but I mean, it's a huge stocked warehouse, right? Okay. Anything else?
Perfect, Carrie. No more questions. I did just put in a comment just to say that I deleted the front load report because
Oh, thank you.
there is there is something odd about it. So yes, we'll put a new one out there.
I will get that corrected and updated. I was moving fast yesterday when I got that report and wanted to put something out there. So yeah, we'll get that corrected. All
Yeah.
right. If there are no more questions, thank you everyone for attending today and being part of these meetings. It's greatly appreciated. And I hope you found something helpful or remindful. We do this once a year and it's easy to forget navigating the different programs and working through it. Know that sign up sheet is out there. And if you need extra help, hand holding, that's what we're here for. So please call on us and your child nutrition specialist. Most of them have attended these meetings as well. So a lot of them are getting a great view of what you get through the co-op as far as pre-order. It's a pretty awesome program. So yeah. All right, everyone, stay safe and warm. Be careful out there, and hopefully we'll see everybody next week. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.